Oh, so that's the wardrobe you rocking, huh?
Yeah, this is yeah, this is business professional in quarantine. What's up, y'all? This is the quarantine wardrobe. The business. Why'd you go with the bat?
I love Batman.
Batman, that's awesome.
I'm a huge Batman.
Clark Wayne, man. So
Clark
I get
Wayne,
it.
Batman.
So you get it, man. What's going on, everybody? It's Bert G. Welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday. We have a recent college graduate, all around awesome guy, entrepreneur. I know you've worked with Sony, you've worked at a label. I know you're a social media guru with your own branding company. So today we've got Anthony Obas with us. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Bert G? Sac passe.
Not boule, man. So, yeah, man, thanks for making the trip out here to the studio. But yeah, man, first I want to kick off. I think the most important thing is you just graduated college. Yeah. And I couldn't think of a crazier time to be graduating and to be coming into this world. But what is your perspective? Like, you just graduated college, you're in the city, New York City, where a lot of stuff is going down. What is your mindset, and what do you think should be the mindset of students who graduated this year, given everything that's going on?
I think one of the mindset I'm going into is to stay calm, right? Because we went back to our parents, and that's who we kind of lean on whenever things get crazy, right? So I've been staying calm, working out diligently, reading books, kind of keep the mind focused, right? And trying to, remove myself as much as possible from the world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's crazy because I think there's a big debate on, like, I want to stay informed, but how much is absorbing too much, right?
Right.
To the point that, let's talk about it. Let's keep it funky, man. Let's talk about mental health, man. How important do you think for recent college grads, mental health is right now?
It's huge. I mean, like, the thing is, like, a college student throughout the 4 years experiences one mental health breakdown, at least. At least. Like,
yeah,
at least.
Talk about it.
And
there's resources on campus that people never know about, right?
Yeah, there's a ton of resources people don't know about, right?
Like what?
Like there's one called the Barnes Center at SU, which is a great place that people can.
So Syracuse University, and that's a counseling center.
There's a counseling center, yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah.
I know that in the city, I think 311 does like a mental health line. If anybody needs like help or something like that.
It's a dope resource, yeah. New York City, yeah.
If you're in the New York area, so 311.
And if you're not in that area, there's probably something similar in your town. You just gotta look it up, yeah.
Right. So I mean, like, this whole time it's just like I'm not trying to go through a mental breakdown because I already had one already. Yeah. So it's like I need to stay focused. I need to keep my mind active and away from from all the not say toxic media, but a lot of it can be draining when you're on social media.
Talk about it, man.
A lot of especially with the police brutality, you're seeing coronavirus cases move up.
It's either heavy news or a TikTok challenge.
It's one of the two.
It's one of the two. It's one of the two. Between. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's either here's the new dance craze, here's the Jabberwockies doing the Tootsie Slide, or some just crazy news that might bring you down. I know that remaining positive has been like one of the biggest things for you, and I know that community has been a big thing for you. So talk to me about how did community influence some of your early college choices? I know you were at the radio station,
right?
Ran the label. Talk to me about how did community fuel your college experience?
Community was key, right? If you don't have community, you don't have a sense of bonding. You don't have a sense of like belonging to something. Right. And people usually join frags or certain clubs in order to feel a part of something, right? And when I came on the campus, I was just like, I don't want to be a part of something. I want to create something, right?
Oh, that's a major key right there. Not just being part of something, creating something that other people are a part of. That's
It's a major key alert. Right?
Yeah, major key alert. Talk about it.
So when I came on campus, I was doing the radio, but we also had a little clique called The Village, right? Which we were highlighting, it's like The Village, which is like, we was highlighting, creatives on campus telling their story, but I had like a little crew, we had a little crew of us.
Squad goals,
because we all had a goal of, whether it be radio, whether it be in photography, videography, or social media group, we all had goals. So it was like, okay, if we, if somebody's good at photography, you're good at social media, let's put it together. Let's create content, right? Right. So that created community, and with that, it helped me drive myself into further leaps, and where I, further my podcast.
So did that help? Did you feel like more connected to school because you had that community? You're like, I got the team, I got the squad, they're counting on me, or we got this. Did it make you feel more invested?
I felt more invested in my education, of course. You know what I mean? But again, it was still that idea of feeling, like, again, I still was that small bubble, racially, of course. Second, also, it's just like as a freshman as well too. You still feel, you have majority seniors, and then you are freshmen, so you still feel like
new kid on the block.
New kid on the block type shit. You know what I mean? So,
ooh, watch out before you lose control. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I did not know about that. Cool it down.
Yeah. But so you had the new kid on the block, and again, like I needed to make sure that I was again creating the lane and making sure that that idea of having a strong community, and they ended up becoming some of my closest friends that I lean on towards today, creatively and for a friendship as well too.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the investment of college, right? Because you just graduated. By the way, did it impact you? Because you didn't have a physical graduation?
Oh hell no, we didn't have a physical graduation.
Like B, it was virtual B. You see the mask, son. But so my whole question is, how did that feel? Was it just like, oh, this is what we got to do? Like, did you guys make the best of it? What was that like for you?
I mean, for me, this is so funny because. So March, when coronavirus was just about to break out, and I'm like, yo, imagine we laughing in the crib and we're saying, yo, imagine we don't come back to school for Syracuse, and I'd be like, so that Wednesday I said happy graduation, and everybody was panicking and stuff, thinking like it's the end of the world. I'm like, oh, I graduate, right? Yeah. So we ended up going to the bar, got stupid wasted that Wednesday, and I'm like, oh, I graduated. So. Said that I can't have pictures with my family and saying that I graduated, being the baby, whatever. But it's also like, I also looked at it as just like, I did it. You get what I'm saying? Like, I did the 4 years. It's sad that I didn't have the physical graduation and get the photos. But it's like, now it's time for me to take that next step, right?
Yeah, some people are just waiting for things to get back to normal. And you got a group of people that are like, this is the new normal.
Right? That's me.
Yeah. And so I think your reaction is going to be based on what bucket you're in.
Right.
I mean, no pun intended with the bucket. With the bucket hat. Yeah, schoolboy Q. You know what I'm saying? Bring the bucket hat back. So you have an interesting background, right? So you went to all boys school.
Yeah.
And you played sports.
Yeah.
And did you feel like what did you play?
I did football and track, actually.
Football and track. And did you feel that playing sports prepared you in any way for challenges, ahead?
Yeah, 100%. I did football. I did football from 5th grade all the way to 11th, and I did track from 5th all the way to 12th, right? And there's certain principles that you learn from, being in those sports, like being punctual, right? Sticking to your routines of just working out, right? Pushing yourself to the next limits. Certain things like that helped me, today become a better person, helped me to stay on track with a lot of things. That's why, and I had a lot of challenges, from injuries to, mental health to just another challenge of just dealing with this idea of structural hierarchy between coaches and myself.
Yeah.
And how to maneuver through that, right? So those were challenges, but now going through college, I've already faced a lot of these challenges already. So it's just like, I'm good. You get what I'm
you feel
saying?
like you laid the groundwork. As someone who just graduated, you would have a very fresh perspective on this.
Right.
There's a big debate on right now, is Cos worth it? When you see that the cost of college has been increasing, I know for a lot of colleges, state funding has been decreasing.
Makes no sense.
And with everything with unemployment right now, and with this job insecurity that we're seeing, a lot of students are wondering, what's going on with college? Is it worth it? So, what's your take on it?
For me personally, if coronavirus had happened in 2016, and I graduated from Xavier, I probably would have taken 2016 and 2017 year off. That's not even a lie, because you're not getting a full college experience the first year. Right? You're not fully meeting people. You're not engaged. You're not able to engage in campus activities.
So you're saying just the online piece doesn't cut it?
The online piece doesn't cut it. It cuts it to a degree. Yes, you're learning, but there's a part of college where you start living on your own. You start understanding how to cook for yourself. You start bonding with people that you haven't bonded with that don't look like you, right? And for the first year doing it online, you're not getting a full college experience, right?
Right.
And personally,
go ahead.
And personally for me, it's just like, if I was in that position, I would take the year off, figure out what I need to do and figure out what's the system, what are some, little jobs that I can pick up, and then come back maybe, again, this is like if it was to hit in 2016, and 17, see, okay, has the market looked better?
Because for you, being on campus, being around people, those connections, that's really a large part of the sauce
of being in college. Right. And the thing is, for me, it's just like, you need to be in that loop. You need to be meeting these people.
Because some people go for the degree, other people go for the connections.
And that's the thing, right? College is the idea of you go for the connections and network. And not to say like you can't get it on your own type stuff, but you need kind of both. You can't be going to college only for the educational part.
Yeah.
When clearly there's so many other resources we can use that doesn't cost us $70,000 a
Got
year.
it. So from your perspective, it's worth it, but you know, like the online piece alone doesn't cut it. You need that full experience.
You need the full experience.
Now, how did community help you in terms of like your brand? Because do you have the book? Because I know you
have the book. Yeah.
Man, show the book, man.
I gotta go with the book. Hold on.
Go grab the book, man. How's my man gonna be on pretty much a podcast and not bring the book?
I had to bring the book.
Let's talk about it, man.
I had to get off set real quick to come back on set.
Here's on the set. Book. Yeah, so all right, shifting your music into career. Tell me about this book, man, and then how did being in college help you with the book?
Yeah, so I mean,
I hope y'all. Let me stop.
But yeah, I mean, I've always wanted. I mean, you're an author yourself too, so it's just
That's
like
true.
You're an author yourself too. So I mean, like I said, I've seen an opportunity, and you know, college has taught me to look at opportunities, right?
Right.
So I've seen an opportunity in the music business industry, and I'm like, bro, like, there's not like a Gen Z, you know, music biz, right? And I'm like, yo, I gotta be the first one to create like this generational Z book that's short, simple, to the point, you know?
Yeah.
And being in college and being with community, we've learned how to seek out opportunities, but also think outside the box.
Who's the audience for the book?
This audience for the books is for emerging artists, for emerging musicians.
Because you talk about how to like put your books out. You talk about which streaming platforms. Like, for example, I didn't know, what was it, the Microsoft streaming platform that gives you the most money?
Yeah, the
like
Xbox
Title's like 4 or something.
Title's like 0.0012, you know, it's per stream. And people don't know this, and I'm just like, yo, like this, you need to know this, right, as an artist. But it's crazy because not only have, you know, music industry people love the book, but I've seen people outside the music industry be like, yo, there's tips in this book that could be applied.
And self-hustlers, like the fact that you can get on DistroKid or TuneCore to distribute your music, and you know, you're really putting the power back into the hands of the independent artists.
Which is what I want to do.
I loved about the book.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I also like the fact that you talk about, tell them about the whole, because you have a beef with Frank Ocean.
Yeah, I don't have a beef with Frank Ocean.
You call out Frank Ocean in your book a couple times. I'm a big, what was it, Channel Orange?
I'm a big Channel Orange.
That album was fire,
I'm a big
bro.
Channel Orange guy too. But the thing is,
this song was it the single?
Oh, Channel Orange was the shit. I've been thinking about you. Ooh, nah. That's my shit.
Yeah.
But I don't have beef with Frank Ocean, but it's just teach artists that you don't have the luxury to drop like Frank Ocean, if that makes sense.
Right.
So you can't just go ghost for 3 years like Frank Ocean, right? He dropped Blonde in 2016, and he hasn't dropped an album since then, you know? Like
but when he comes back, the anticipation will be crazy because it's Frank.
Because it's Frank, exactly, right?
Yeah.
And as an emerging artist, you don't have that luxury to do that. Right, you gotta come out with content constantly, right?
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes you might be like, oh, should I come out with an EP, a single, or an album? It's like, okay, you can decide that, but the whole point is like, you need to have active content. Like, whether it be photography, videography, you just posting on social media.
Feed the people.
Feed the people because your brand dies down if you're not constantly feeding. And that's what the whole point of that chapter was. It's just like, you don't have the luxury to be a Frank Ocean. You don't have the luxury to be a Drake.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? As an emerging artist, you need to be actively dropping content on a consistent basis.
Right. Especially as you're getting your name known. Now, I know that you definitely, you know, utilize your school to push the book because I know you're part of Launchpad.
Launchpad.
And I went to one of your talks. And you were talking about the book and principles from the book.
Right.
Tell me, what is Launchpad?
Yeah, shout outs to Linda of Launchpad. Shout outs to my Launchpad family. But the Launchpad is such a...
Yo, the set is real flimsy. You know it's a new operation. The set is real flimsy. I hope y'all like that.
But the Launchpad is a dope, it's an creative entrepreneur area for anybody on Syracuse University looking to start up their own company, and it's just a great place for innovation. I wish I took more advantage of it as a freshman. I started utilizing more as a senior, but I mean, if you're a freshman, sophomore, or junior, just take advantage of it, right? It's like an ideal, right? You have an idea, and they're gonna help you transform into a product and service. You need to be around creatives to help you STEM creativity.
Being around in that community, that bubble.
Yeah.
To just keep things going. So let me ask you, like, what's the day-to-day, like, you graduated college, like, are you intimidated by the job market? Are you hustling? Are you doing your own thing? What's your mindset? What's your energy right now going towards?
So right now, so first, I already solidified a fellowship for 2 years.
Fellowship, working.
It's working, which is cool. And it's actually what I want to do, which is like business development on an educational level, which is dope. Like that's what I want to do. But during this time, it's been pushing the book. I haven't been consulting and doing micromanaging of any brands because again, coronavirus, and I want to be sensitive of the time as well too.
Right.
But again, it's all about this during this time is pushing content. Being like the Frank Ocean. I don't have the luxury to just go ghost,
Go ghost.
I gotta push some type of content down your throat.
Which is interesting because a lot of people, I think right now, it's about waking up at like 2 p.m. eating, a bowl of colorful cereal. But your whole thing is like, we at home use the time, make content. Because I see you're moving, like you're doing Obas rants, and you're getting the word out there, and it's like, this is your time to get your voice out to the world.
It is.
Tell me for the people who don't know, what are Obas rants? How did this become a thing?
So shout outs to Kayla Dorsey for this one, but she said one day that I'm always ranting and always complaining about things, and it kind of brought that idea of like, it's kind of true. I do rant about a lot of things, whether in a good way or a bad way. I'm just always talking. So I created the Obas and the Obas rants. And it's like you got to be consistent with it, like we said about the Frank Ocean. And then I started becoming consistent, and people started to like it. So it's just like when people start to like it, that means it's working.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? That I can keep that, right?
But you didn't start off in a corny way where you tried to figure out like, this is what people are gonna like. You put it out, and then you saw what they responded to.
And you know what the thing is, people responded to it because it was genuine, and it's my personality.
Right.
So even if you don't see me on a day-to-day basis, you can feel me presently being there.
You had an Obas rant today. We went to go get Haitian food. You were ranting about the customer service.
It's terrible. It was like
food was pretty decent, but the customer service wasn't there. So I want to get you started, B. Now, I don't know what it is about. I don't want to generalize, but certain foods that taste really, really good. For some reason, sometimes the customer service isn't there.
The customer service was definitely not there for that food.
Yeah. But as we kind of wrap up, one of the things I've always dealt with is anxiety, and I know that this time can, and I talk about it in the music. If you see Inner Demons, if you see the song "Last Good Black Man," thank you for rocking
Last Good Black Man.
There's hints about that, but I know this time can heighten people's anxiety. What are you doing to kind of? You talk about staying calm. What are you doing to kind of stay calm during the time? What are some tips that we can have for the students or for anybody who's listening out there who just wants to know, how do I manage anxiety right now?
For sure. So the first thing I do is wake up in the morning and try to drink 3 cups of water. Right, to start the day, keep my body hydrated.
Okay.
That's something I think everybody should do. And then, midday I probably just pause for a second on my laptop and I do 30 minutes of breathing in, breathing out. Kind of like a little Zen Buddhism,
my man, it's going real Zen on you.
Yeah, it's real meditation and stuff. And then, I spend from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. I put my screen downtime, so I'm not on social media. I'm not on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter from like 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
So you don't do the overload?
I don't do the overload, nah. I just because I need to disconnect for a second, right? Disconnect, watch TV, and then also need time for writing as well too. So I do the writing as well too, and that's how I kind of stay positive in there. And that's also connecting with people, like call Bert, have a laugh, and just be like, what's popping, and I'll be connected with people from like my OG days, so.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I love all those tips, man. Guys, it is Bert G, Wisdom Wednesdays. We're trying a new format. We built a little set to do this interview. If we like the way it goes, we might do more of these. Oh, by the way, before we leave, what is going on with wardrobe during the pandemic? You know what I'm saying? Like, do people care anymore?
Nah.
I saw this funny. I was watching this podcast. This comedian Sam Morril. He's got this show with his girlfriend called Living in Quarantine. And he had this joke where he was like, he showered twice a day, and every time he showers, he looks at his girlfriend. He's like, I'm only doing this for you, right? He's like, if you were here, I went to. So I feel like, you know, we're all turning into cavemen and cavewomen during quarantine. But what is the deal with quarantine wardrobe? Do you feel like people don't care anymore because you're not out as much?
You see me, I'm working my pajamas, so like my little Batman pajamas and stuff like that.
You know what? I'm gonna get into my quarantine wardrobe. Give him a plug for the book while I get into my quarantine.
No problem. So what you can do is you can find my book, Shifting Your Music into Career Volume 1. On Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Lulu.com, and you can also find it on www.guidedbyobas.net. You can also follow me too as well on Facebook, Anthony Obas, Instagram, right? Duh, I have Instagram, Anthony_Obas, and then on Twitter you can do Anthony_Obas44, where you'll find some of the Obas rants, you find some of the books. We got a lot of dope new content coming on the way, and yeah, it's just gonna be such a pleasure to doing it. Oh, so that's the wardrobe we rocking, huh?
Yeah, this is this is business professional quarantine. What's up, y'all? This is the quarantine wardrobe. The business. Why'd you go with the bat?
I love Batman.
Batman, that's awesome.
I'm a huge Batman.
Clark Wayne, man. So
Clark
I get
Wayne,
it.
Batman.
So you get it, man. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys are getting into your quarantine wardrobe. You know what I mean?
Batman.
All right, guys. Take care. Peace. Wisdom Wednesdays. Talk to you guys soon. All right. Later. All right.
Oh, man. That was funny.